flight simulator wasn't just about flying? What if it was about actually owning the plane? I mean, with all the challenges, all the responsibilities, and yeah, all the deep rewards that come with it. Today, we're going to look at a piece of software that does exactly that. It's something that really challenges what a simulation can be by practically erasing the line between a game and a genuine digital aircraft. I've always wanted to do a belly landing. Now, that sounds like a pretty crazy thing for any pilot to say, right? But what's truly incredible is when it was said. Scott Gentile, the president of A2A Simulations, actually said these words to his son while they were on final approach in a real airplane with a very real landing gear failure. And that real life event, that unbelievable moment, is the perfect way to understand the simulation. See, the A2A Aerostar 600 isn't just built from textbooks and datasheets. It's built on the developer's own personal experience of owning and flying this exact type of aircraft, including that very real, very controlled gear up landing. So here's the key takeaway. That belly landing wasn't just a technical problem that needed solving. For the creator, it was this moment of intense learning and discovery. And that whole philosophy, the idea that you learn the most, not when everything goes perfectly, but when things go wrong, well, that's baked into the very heart of this simulation's design. This super deep personal connection to the aircraft led to a really unique development philosophy that they call AccuSim. So let's dig into what that actually means for you, the user, and why it's such a massive leap forward for flight simulation. So, what does physics-based really mean? Well, think about it. In most sims, when you flip a switch, a pre-programmed event happens. It's just a script that says play sound or turn on light. But here, AccuSim is modeling the actual components, the fuel physically flowing through the lines, the oils slowly breaking down over time, the electricity moving through individual circuit breakers. Everything interacts organically, which means the outcomes are emergent and real, not just scripted events. And if you want to see that philosophy in all its glory, you have to look under the hood. We're talking about the most complex part of this entire simulation, the engine. And this isn't just a model of an engine. It's a dynamic, living simulation of two very specific, very complex power plants. Okay, this is where things get wild. A standard sim might treat the engine as one single thing, but the Aerostar has two Lycoming IO 540 engines, and AccuSim models each of their 6 cylinders individually. That's 12 separate combustion chambers, each with its own physics, its own temperature, its own unique quirks. The oil's viscosity literally changes with temperature. The starter motor physically fights against engine compression. It's a truly living, breathing system. And all that incredible detail means that real-world pilot skills aren't just an option. They're absolutely essential. Take a core skill like leaning the engine. In the real world, pilots carefully adjust the fuel-air mixture to find that perfect sweet spot for either max power or fuel economy. Here, you're doing the exact same thing, watching the exhaust gas temperature for each of those 12 cylinders peak at slightly different times on the monitor. It turns what's often just a simple lever push in other sims into a genuine, hard-earned skill. It's challenging, but so rewarding. So we've established the engine is this absolute masterpiece of simulation. But what's it actually like to fly this thing? Well, the experience from the cockpit is really defined by two things: its raw performance and its truly unique character. First things first, this airplane is fast. Seriously fast. We're talking a cruising speed of 195 knots. That's nearly 225 miles per hour. This is not your slow weekend trainer. It's a complex, high-performance machine that demands your full attention from the moment you start the engines. Just staying ahead of the airplane is a huge part of the challenge. And the immersion goes so much deeper than just the visuals. There are over 1,000 sounds. And get this, they are all driven by the physics. The deep rumble of the engine isn't just a recording that gets louder, it's being generated in real time by the calculated forces inside that per-cylinder simulation. The whine of the hydraulic pump is tied directly to the actual pressure in the system. You are literally hearing the physics model at work. The cockpit itself is this amazing blend of old and new. You've got this core of authentic 1970s avionics, the classic Collins radios, and the old-school Century 4 autopilot. But all this vintage tech is seamlessly integrated with modern tools, like an in-cockpit tablet for maintenance and full support for the latest GPS units. This brilliant mix means you can fly it totally old school, navigating by radio beacons, or with modern pinpoint precision. It creates a truly one-of-a-kind experience. Okay, but this next part, this is where the simulation completely redefines the genre. It's the most revolutionary concept we've talked about yet. This isn't about just one off, isolated flights. No, this is about the entire life cycle of an aircraft, and it fundamentally shifts your role from just being a pilot to being an owner.
This timeline really shows the idea of persistence in action. Every single flight, every hard landing, every time you push the engines just a little too hard, it's all recorded. It's remembered. The aircraft you fly on your 100th hour is not the same pristine machine that left the factory. Components wear out, oil gets dirty, and performance subtly changes. Your actions have real, long-term consequences.
And that's the thing that really sinks in. You're not just flying a generic Aerostar. You are building a relationship with your specific Aerostar. The wear and tear, the state of the engine, the fuel you left in the tanks last time, it's all saved, and it's all waiting for you when you come back. It creates this continuous story and a true, profound sense of ownership. And with that ownership comes real responsibility. You're not just jumping in the cockpit and hitting fly. Nope. You're doing pre-flight walkarounds, checking tire pressures, looking for fluid leaks. You're managing the weight and balance in real time, which directly affects how the plane flies. You have to service the engines, change the oil, and ultimately, you have to make sure that your plane is airworthy for every single flight. You are the owner-operator. Which brings us to a final, really fascinating question. When a simulation models systems with this kind of physical accuracy, when it demands real-world procedures and punishes you for neglect with persistent, realistic failures, has it moved beyond just being entertainment? So where exactly does the game end and the training tool begin?